uncover the layers of history that reveal a centuries-long, complex and often overlooked narrative, the story of Muslims in Britain. From early diplomatic encounters to the vibrant, diverse communities of today, understanding this journey is crucial for grasping the full scope of British history and society. This script provides a scholarly overview for students, historians, researchers and educators. Direct contact between Britain and the Muslim world existed for centuries, primarily through trade and diplomacy. While not resulting in settled communities, these interactions shaped early perceptions. Figures like King Offa of Mercia even minted coins in the 8th century that imitated Islamic designs, indicating awareness and connection. Medieval England had limited direct interaction with Muslim populations within its borders. Knowledge was often filtered through continental Europe, influenced by crusades and trade routes. This period laid minimal groundwork for later settlement, but established a distant relationship. The expansion of the British Empire, particularly through the East India Company, brought the first significant Muslim presence. Lascars, sailors from South Asia and other parts of the empire, arrived in British ports like London, Liverpool and Cardiff. They were essential to maritime trade. These early arrivals were predominantly transient, often facing difficult conditions and discrimination. Some settled, forming small, isolated pockets in port areas. Their presence marked the beginning of a continuous, albeit small, Muslim population in Britain. Servants accompanying British officials returning from the colonies also contributed to this early presence. These individuals, often from diverse backgrounds within the empire, added to the small number of Muslims residing in Britain. Their lives were often tied to their employers' households. The 19th century saw a gradual increase in the Muslim population, still largely concentrated in port cities. Lascars continued to arrive, and some established more permanent routes. Early boarding houses and informal prayer spaces emerged to cater to their needs. Notable figures began to appear, challenging the transient nature of the community. Abdullah Quilliam, an English convert to Islam, established the Liverpool Muslim Institute in the late 19th century. This was arguably the first formal Muslim institution in Britain, providing a mosque and educational facilities. Other small groups also arrived, including students, merchants and visitors from the empire. While numbers remained small compared to later migrations, this period saw the tentative beginnings of organized Muslim life and community structures. Diversity in origin and background was a feature from these early days. Before the major migrations of the post-war era, the Muslim population remained relatively small and dispersed. Communities in port cities like Cardiff, South Shields and London continued to exist, often centered around the needs of seafarers. These communities were often ethnically diverse. World War I and II brought more individuals from the empire to Britain, including Muslims serving in the armed forces or working in war industries. While many returned home, some remained, adding to the existing small communities. This period highlighted the global connections of the empire. Institutions like the London Central Mosque Fund were established in the early 20th century, indicating a growing desire for formal places of worship. However, progress was slow, and the community lacked widespread visibility or significant political presence. Life was often challenging for these early settlers. The period after World War II witnessed a dramatic shift, with large-scale migration from the Indian subcontinent, the Caribbean, and parts of Africa. This was driven by labor shortages in Britain and economic opportunities, as well as the aftermath of the partition of India. Millions from former colonies were invited or chose to move. Muslims from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and later East African countries arrived in significant numbers. They settled primarily in industrial towns and cities across the UK, including London, Birmingham, Manchester, Bradford, and Glasgow. These areas offered employment in textiles, manufacturing, and public transport. This migration fundamentally changed the scale and nature of the Muslim presence in Britain. From small, scattered groups, the population grew rapidly into substantial communities. This influx laid the foundation for the diverse Muslim population seen today. As the new migrant communities settled, establishing religious and social infrastructure became a priority. terraced houses were converted into makeshift mosques, and later, purpose-built mosques were constructed across the country. These mosques became vital community hubs. Alongside mosques, community centers, Islamic schools, madrasas, and welfare organizations were established. These institutions provided religious education, social support, and a space for cultural preservation. They played a crucial role in maintaining identity and cohesion. The late 20th century saw the development of national Muslim organizations. These groups aimed to represent the interests of the diverse Muslim communities and engage with wider British society and government. This marked a move towards greater organization and advocacy. As communities matured, questions of identity, integration, and belonging became more prominent. Younger generations, born and raised in Britain, navigated dual identities, their religious and ethnic heritage alongside their British nationality. This period saw the emergence of distinct British Muslim identities. The late 20th and early 21st centuries also brought significant challenges. Global events, such as conflicts in the Middle East and the rise of extremist groups, impacted perceptions of Muslims in the UK. Islamophobia became a growing concern, affecting daily life and community relations. Issues of representation in media, politics, and public life gained importance. Muslim communities sought greater inclusion and understanding while also facing scrutiny and prejudice. This era highlighted the complexities of multiculturalism and integration in a changing world. Today, Muslims in the UK are an incredibly diverse population, representing numerous ethnicities, languages, and interpretations of Islam. They are integral to the social, economic, and cultural fabric of the nation. Muslims contribute across all sectors, including healthcare, education, business, and the arts. While challenges like Islamophobia and socio-economic disparities persist, Muslim communities continue to build and contribute. Interfaith dialogue, civic engagement, and efforts to combat extremism from within the community are ongoing. The narrative is one of dynamic evolution and active participation. Understanding the history of Muslims in the UK is essential for comprehending contemporary Britain. It reveals a story of migration, adaptation, resilience, and the continuous shaping of a diverse society. This history is not separate from British history, but an intrinsic part of it. The history of Muslims in the UK is a rich and complex narrative, spanning centuries and reflecting global shifts and local developments. From early seafarers to established communities, this journey highlights the enduring connections between Britain and the wider world. It underscores the importance of migration in shaping national identity. For students, historians, researchers, and educators, exploring this history offers vital insights into migration studies, religious history, social change, and the dynamics of a multicultural society. Delving into primary sources, community archives, and academic research provides a deeper understanding. We encourage you to explore this fascinating history further, engage with the sources, and contribute to the ongoing scholarly understanding of Muslims in Britain.